help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, let's see what we got from... Oh, from the summer. Apparently, he said that he's gonna piss on our graves if we die during our suicide mission. That's not very nice. Unless that's a weird Krogan thing.
I'm glad things worked out, Commander. I was worried you dumped Samara for some crazy soul sucker with a death fetish, all live and sexy and... Never mind.
What do you think about the people we're picking up?
Well, about the ones you went out with last. It's just my opinion, though. There's really no need to go spreading it around.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
I think we can, I think every guy in this, in the Mass Effect galaxy can agree that, every Asari is sexy. Okay.
Shepard, how can I help?
Have you got a minute to talk?
Yes, good timing in fact. Excellent. Made breakthrough. Can share results while next samples grow. Hate waiting for culture analysis. Never fast enough. Usually no result in advance. Just checking work. Have to be careful. Getting off track. Discovery. Based on Prothean collective connection, can examine technology, charge Reaper species modification, fall of Protheans.
Tell me what happened.
Early stages similar to indoctrination, can guess captured Protheans lost intelligence over several cloned generations. Cybernetic augmentation widespread afterward. As Protheans failed, Reefers added tech to compensate. Mental capacity almost gone, replaced by overworld sensory input transfers. Transmitting data to masters.
Does knowing how the Protheans fell tell us anything useful about how to stop the Collectors? Or the Reapers?
Not yet. More useful as motivation. Effects on Protheans more than indoctrination, body modification. No self-preservation instinct. Old injuries not healed, no reproduction, just cloning. Technology overriding biology, not augmenting. No honor, no culture, closer to husks than slaves. Tools or Reapers. Protheans dead, Collectors just final insult. Must be destroyed.
I didn't think you needed any more motivation than you already had to stop the Collectors.
Enjoyed challenge. Saw necessity of attack on Collectors after plague on Omega. Their work, my people. Hard to care about two armies. One wins, one loses. Always work to do after. Now, have more context. See what Collectors are. Wasn't looking for other work before. Don't mean to imply that. Just committed now. Won't let you down.
You said the Collectors had no heart. I had no idea you cared about that kind of thing.
Personal interest negligible. Sang a little. Multi-species productions for cultural exploration. Gilbert and Sullivan always had me do the patter songs. But not about me. Cultural artistic expression reflects philosophical evolution, interest in growth, perspective, observation, interpretation. Suspect you won't see any art in collector base. Culturally dead. Tools for reapers. Worse than the game.
I'm sorry. I know that was important, but you performed Gilbert and Sullivan?
I am the very model of a scientist Solarian. I've studied species Turian, Asari, and Batarian. I'm quite good at genetics as a subset of biology because I am an expert which I know as a tautology. My xenoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of a scientist Solarian.
What is it about the Collector's modifications that bothers you so much?
Disrupts socio-technological balance. All scientific advancement due to intelligence overcoming, compensating for limitations. Can't carry a load, so invent wheel. Can't catch food, so invent spear. Limitations. No limitations, no advancement. No advancement, culture stagnates. Works other way, too. Advancement before culture is ready. Disastrous. Saw it with Krogan. Uplifted by Solarians. Disastrous. Our fault.
You blame the Solarians for what the Krogan did?
Yes, like giving nuclear weapons to cavemen. Krogan unprepared for spaceflight, technological advance. Krogan could have evolved alone, worked out aggression, been ready to use new tech responsibly. Instead, Solarians came, disrupted Krogan culture, used Krogan as blunt instrument against Rachni. Short-sighted. Foolish.
If you feel that way, why did you work on the genophage modification?
Talked before. Best option. That, or kill them all. If around during first contact, would have argued against it. Wasn't there then. Do what I can.
Thanks for sharing what you've learned, Morton.
Proud to be here, Shepard. Thank you for including me.
The fact that Morden in Mass Effect 3 doesn't talk as fast as he did in Mass Effect 2, I thought he just kind of like slowed down. He started not to talk as fast as he did before. But oh well.
Do you need something?
Have a few minutes to talk.
Very well. I had been recording a message for Kolgat.
How are things going with him?
It is difficult. All things worth keeping are. I never explained. I suppose the story of my wife's death took you by surprise.
I figured you'd explain to me when you were ready.
I appreciate your patience. I kept my work clear of our home life. I assumed that would be enough to protect Eureka. That memory I mentioned before. Laser trembles on the target's skull. The smell of spice on spring wind. Eyes defined in scope. That was Eureka. That was how I met her. She saw my targeting laser as she walked by and threw herself in the way.
I guess she impressed you.
She woke me up. Her body trembled, not fear. Indignation. Her mouth moves. How dare you? You and I trained to sacrifice ourselves to save others. How often does a civilian step in the way of a bullet to protect someone they've never met? I thought she was the goddess Hirashu. She met my eyes through the scope, and my purpose faltered.
So how did she go from blocking your shot to having your children?
I had to meet her. The memory possessed and endowed me. I fell on my knees before her, begged her pardon. She introduced me to the world beyond my work. Eventually, she forgave me. Later, she loved me.
When you talked to Kolyak, you said she died.
I let myself become complacent. I thought Eureka and Kolyak was safe. I stayed away too long, and my enemies came for her.
Who came for her?
Azarians, a slaver ring that was preying on Hanar outer colonies. I killed their leaders. They paid the Shadow Broker to find out who I was. But they were afraid of me, so they went after her.
You're a smart man, Thane. You didn't take precautions.
I did. I should have done more. I knew my family was vulnerable. I accepted my death when I was 12. Nothing could make me accept theirs. My body hunted her killers, murdered them. I was taught to grant death quickly, cleanly, to minimize suffering. Them, I let them linger.
I don't blame you. They killed innocents to get to you.
For you and me, death is business. For people like them, it is sport. I haven't spoken about my wife, and I don't think I ever have. I didn't have anyone left to tell it to.
You're talking to your son again. That's huge. Don't lose sight of that by dwelling on should-have-beens.
You are correct, of course. You've given me much to meditate on.
My Renegade score is like extremely high, so I'm not worried about a few Paragon points.
I was just thinking about you. It must have been really hard for Samara to ask you to help kill her own daughter. She told me she really appreciated your help. As hardcore as she is, I'm not sure she could have done it without you. Edie has a wicked sense of humor. Or I should say, a really funny lack of one. Sometimes she seems like a person. But when it comes down to it, I can't get past her being a computer. This one security guy keeps staring at me. I think his name is Bert. I'm used to being watched by security, but they're usually staring at my eyes or watching my hands. I might have to start cloaking through the CIC from now on. Come back later. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about.
Well, what can I say? Edie's sense of humor is it's coming from Joker, actually. Joker doesn't have a very good sense of humor either. Even though his name is Joker. And no, not Joker from Batman either. They just called him that because, well, if you guys have been paying attention in Mass Effect, in the first Mass Effect game, he was called that because he never smiled. I think his instructor started calling him that as an insult. Not really as a good thing. Just he never smiled. But whatever.
Morinth haunted my dreams and waking hours equally. For the first time in 400 years, I am free. I am a ruined vessel of sorrow and regret, but I am free. It is not a feeling I can describe.
Was it worth it?
It was never a question of worth, but of need. I had to take the action I did, as did she. This was never a story that would have a happy outcome.
You did your duty. What about your feelings?
One of my daughters is dead. My hopes, my dreams were all bound up in my children. Still, my feelings have always come after my duty. The same is true of you.
You said that Morinth was a monster, but she was still your daughter.
She was the strongest and smartest. She would not accept the injustice thrust upon her. She fought to the end. I am so proud of her, Shepard.
You killed her for being what she was.
And I would again. But I also know what it means to leave everything behind and fight. Do you realize that she went on the run at the age of 40? I do not know human years well, but it is very young for Asari.
What will you do now that Morinth is gone?
Assuming I survive your mission, I am a Justicar. Injustice still exists, and perhaps even other Ardat-Yakshi.
There's no way to correct the condition Morinth had?
We are an advanced species, but we don't have magic. When the trait manifests at maturity, it is too late for mitigation. It only occurs in purebloods like myself. Perhaps that is the root of the stigma regarding Asari-exclusive pairings. I don't know.
I thought Ardat-Yakshi were extremely rare.
Asari have spread to many worlds. There are remote regions with no government oversight. If I travel to those worlds, and they do exist, I will find them.
Morinth claimed that her condition was the future of the Asari race.
Morinth would say anything that served her cause. Ardat-Yakshi are sterile, Shepard. That wouldn't be a particularly viable future for my people.
You don't want to settle down?
I did. I returned to my homeworld and tried to start a family. I will fight and struggle all my life. That is my fate. When I die, it will not be in bed. I am at peace with that.
You still control the direction of your life.
I have chosen this path. I truly am at peace. Due in no small part to you.
Yeah, we go down here and talk to Grunt, and then I'm going to call it quits after that. We are actually down to our last two Lawyer's mission, which is Jacob and Zaid. And of course, I'll be doing Zaid last because he happens to be in the same cluster where the Firewalker DLC is. So, well, at least it started there. Anyway.
Shepard,
Just checking in. How you doing?
I'm branching out. Got a list of enemies now. They all give me joy when I picture cutting them, crushing them. There's this one imprint, a Solarian with the, what are they, the things on his head pulled apart. Bet it caused a generation of revenge. What is that, a few weeks for them? So what did you want?
Don't wear yourself out on someone else's memories. We've got our own bad guys to fight.
Your enemies are my enemies. We'll shove the Collector's claws where a dark sun can't shine. And they will deserve it. I won't disrespect their strengths by doing less than the worst to them.
That's the kind of thinking that will save a galaxy.
You make it possible, Shepard. You're my battle master. You give me purpose. That's what makes Krogan feared soldiers and not animals. Lead well, Shepard. You have my respect.
Yeah, like I said, all we have left is Jacob and Zaid. Those are only two loyalty missions I have left. And then I'll do Jacob's first, then Zaid's, and then we can do Project Firewalker afterwards. This is awesome. I like to do Project Firewalker before I do the Project Overlord DLC because in Project Firewalker you end up with a vehicle called the Hammerhead. And then if you do the Overlord first, you already have the Hammerhead. So it's like, I actually did that once. I was like, wait a second. Why do I have the Hammerhead when I haven't even done the Firewalker DLC yet? It just makes more sense story-wise if you do the Firewalker DLC first before the Overlord. But it's dealer's choice, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. And next time we come back, we'll be heading off to do the last two loyalty missions. But that'll be next time. Bye.